Hi everyone, I hope you're okay. Uh, and I really hope that the videos are helping you out. This is video number 5, guys, which simply means there are 4 videos before this one of me tackling the November 2023 Mathematics Paper 1. Please download the question paper and answer it with me. If there are things you don't understand, don't be scared to raise your hand up on the comment section. I'll definitely attend to you. Okay, we are given we are told that the graphs of f of x and g of x are drawn. A point of intersection of f and g is b, and b is also the turning point of f. Okay, the graph of f has x-intercepts at -3 and +5. Okay, and the y-intercept at c. Okay, the first thing they want us to do is to calculate the coordinates of the turning point. Not calculate, but write down. Guys, if ever you're given your quadratic function like this, they're telling you that there are two things they're telling you. Firstly, they are telling you that they're telling you that your graph will be facing downwards. Why? Because the value of a is negative, number one. Secondly, they are giving you the coordinates of the turning point. This is the x coordinate of the turning point, and that's the y coordinate of the turning point. So our turning point, I'll have 8 there, and then I'll have a +1. For x always changes sign now together, but for y we just leave it like that. Since we had a -1 there in the brackets, it simply means we must write it as +1 whenever we write the coordinate of the turning point. Then now I must calculate the coordinates of c. Remember that c is the y-intercept of the graph of f. For me to find the y-intercept, I don't care what kind of a graph I'm given. All I need to do is to make x 0, solve y. I have f of x, which is equal to -½ x minus 1 all squared plus 8, right? So this is negative. I'll simply substitute 0 whenever I see x, right? So whenever I see x, get look at 0. And then this will be equal to 8 minus a half. That will be 15/2. Let me confirm. -1/2. Yeah, 15/2. So the coordinates of c, I have 0 as my x, and then my y is just 15/2. Now I'm supposed to find the value of d. Remember that d is there in the graph of g, I have g of x is equal to d. Okay, I'm expecting to find a positive value of d. Why am I saying that? Because my graph is in the first and third quadrant of my asymptotes. Are we together? So if I find a negative value of d, it simply means there's something wrong I did here. I know that y is 8, and that is true if and only if x is 1. So therefore the value of d is just equal to 8. Okay, now I'm supposed to write the range of g. For the range, guys, it's just simple. I just need to scan my graph vertically from the bottom to the top. Okay, whenever I move, I can see that my graph is real for all values of y, but my graph does not touch the x-axis. Are you together? Instead of touching the x-axis, it curves like this, and then it starts again on the upper side. It moves from the x-axis going upwards. So my graph does not touch the x-axis. Are we together? So the range, I can simply say y is an element of real numbers, but y cannot be 0. Are you together? So if ever, guys, you are not given a graph like this, maybe let's say your graph is y is equal to ax minus p plus q. They want you to find the range. Just know that y will be an element of real numbers, but y cannot be equal to q. That's your range. Are we together? Another way, now let's forget about another way. And then this is your range, né? And then if they ask you about the domain, simply say x is an element of real numbers, but x cannot be equal to q. That's how you deal with range and domain when it comes to a hyperbolic function. Okay, 5.5. I'm being asked for which values of x will the two graphs be negative. Okay, I'm looking at the two graphs now, guys. I have two things multiplied there. I have two things multiplied and the answer is negative. Less than 0 means negative, né? Which simply means that I'm multiplying two things that have different signs. Are you together? So all I need to check here, I need to check the x values whereby one graph is positive, and the other graph is negative. Are you together? So basically I just need to check where will I find the two graphs in the same region whereby one graph is above the x-axis and the other graph is below the x-axis. Why am I saying that? Because whenever your graph is above the x-axis, your graph is positive. If your graph is below the x-axis, your graph is negative. Are you together? If you can check here, from 3, when x is between 3 and 0, you can see that one graph is above the x-axis and the other graph is below the x-axis. Are you together? Another place is when x is greater than 5. We can see that this graph will be forever above the x-axis and this one is just below the x-axis. So I can see this statement is true if and only if x is between -3 and 0, or x is just greater than a +5. Remember that I have an equal sign there, né? So I can simply include my values, and this one is also included, but I cannot include 0. Why? Because according to x, the graph of g of x cannot be 0, so I will never include 0. So this is how I would have write my answer. Okay, and then now we are being told that calculate the values of k so that h of x will not intersect the graph of g. H of x will not intersect the graph of g. Remember that the graph of g is equal to 8 over x, and the graph of h is given as -2x plus k, right? For this graph not to intersect, we can simply find the intersection of the graph and make delta for the intersection to be less than 0. This question just take you back to the nature of roots, né, guys? Make sure that you still remember that. Just find the equation for the intersection and then make delta for the intersection to be less than 0, then solve k. How do we find the intersection? By saying g of x is equal to h of x, né? Remember that g of x is 8 over x, and then h of x is -2x plus k, right? And then I'm supposed I don't want to have fractions. That means I must multiply everything by x. I'll simply have 8 is equal to 2x squared plus kx. I must put everything to be in standard form. I'll take the negative 2x to the other side. It will be positive 2x squared, and the k will be negative, and then I have a plus 8 is equal to 0. All together. So the value of a is 2, the value of b is negative k, and the value of c is 8. For me to determine the values of k, so that the curve and the line will never intersect, just know that delta for the intersection has to be less than 0. All right, together. So I'll say b squared minus 4ac is less than 0. The value of b is negative k. The value of a is 2, and then I have an 8 there, less than 0. I simply have k squared minus 64 is less than 0. I can simply factorize there. I have k, 8 minus and plus, less than 0. All right, together. My critical values are negative 8 and positive 8. Negative 8 and positive 8, right? And the numbers in front of k, both of them are positive, so I'll write a positive there, negative and positive. I'm looking for any value that will give me an answer which is less than 0. Less than 0 simply means negative. So I can therefore say that k has to be between negative 8 and 8. That's how you would have answered that question. No? Just find the intersection. After finding the equation of the intersection, make delta of the intersection to be less than 0, since we do not want our curve and the line to intersect. After making it to be less than 0, you just need to solve the inequality. That's all. So k must be between negative 8 and 8. Okay. I told that h is a tangent. Okay, let me erase here so that I will bulb properly. I really hope that, guys, you are understanding. If you don't understand, please do raise your hand on the comment section. I got you. Okay, h is a tangent to r, or to g at r. Okay, a point in the okay, r is a point in the first quadrant. Calculate t such that y is equal to f of x plus t intersects g at r. Okay, what are they saying here? They're saying h is a tangent to g at r. H is a tangent to g. Where is g? Oh, this is g, ne? Oh, remember that, guys, we just calculated that for this graph not to be a tangent to your, oh yeah, for this graph not to be a tangent to the graph of g, ne? It simply means that remember that we have our curve like this, and we have our point here, which is 1 and 8. So this graph, the y-intercept here has to be between negative 8 and 8. So that means our graph just looks like this. All right, together. So for us to answer this question, they're saying to us, calculate, but if this graph is now a tangent in the first quadrant, so it can be a tangent somewhere there. Are you together? It can be a tangent somewhere there, no? If it is a tangent in the first quadrant, calculate t such that y is equal to intersect to g. Okay, the first thing that you need to know, for the graph of h to be a tangent, k needs to be equals to k must be a positive 8. Are we together? The value of k there, it must be a positive 8 for it to be a tangent. Why am I saying it must be a positive 8? Because I just calculated delta there, and delta gave me these values. Are you together? For h to be a tangent, it simply means that k must be a positive 8, and for h to intersect, k must be greater than 8 or less than 8. Are you together? However, for h to be a tangent to the graph of g in the first quadrant, the value of k has to be 8. Are you together? Okay, so it simply means that, let me erase here. This simply means that the graph of h is given by negative 2x plus 8. Okay, now what are they saying? They want us to calculate the values, calculate t such that f of x plus t intersects g at r, intersects g at r. Firstly, we must find the coordinates of r. Ne? How can we find the coordinates of r? We know that the graph of h and g will intersect at r, or rather the graph of h would be tangent to the graph of g at r. Ne? So what does that mean? It simply means that both the graphs of h and the one of g will have the same x and y and y values. So I'll simply say g of x is equal to h of x. G of x, remember that is 8 over x. I have negative 2x plus 8. Then all I need to do is to remove the fraction. I'll have 8 is equal to negative 2x squared plus 8x. Bring everything into standard form. I'll have 2x squared minus 8x plus 8 is 0. What I can do here, I can divide everything by 2. Now I'll simply have x squared minus 4x plus 4 is equal to 2. So whenever I solve here, I want the factors of 4 that when I add will give me 4. That's 2 and 2, minus and minus. So x is equal to 2. Are you together? So whenever x is 2, I'll go and substitute on the graph of g to find the corresponding y value. G of 2 is simply 8 over 2, and that will give me 4. So therefore, the coordinates of r are 2 and 4. Are you together? After finding the coordinates of r, I can then go and find the coordinates of t. Why? Because I was told that the graph of h and this graph, they intersect at point r. Are you together? So I will know that, okay, since that graph is equal to y plus f of x, so that means the graph is equal to y plus f of x is negative half x minus 1 squared plus 8, right? But this graph has a t added there. I just want to find the value of t. How can I do that? By just substituting these 2 points over here. Y is 4 and x is 2. And therefore I can just find the value of t. Okay, how can I do that? I'll have, okay, let me not jump steps because I'm even hesitant to use the calculator. Okay, I'll have a 4 this side. I will have negative half plus 8, that's 15 over 2 plus t. So t is simply equal to 4 minus 15 over 2. 4 minus 15 over 2. T is equal to negative 7 over 2. That's how you would have found the value of t, guys. Né? Firstly, you needed to find the coordinates of r. How do you find the coordinates of r? You are told that now h is a tangent to the graph of g. But for h to be a tangent, the value of k has to be equal to positive 8. Are you together? Just substitute 8 there whenever you see k, and then you solve. And then before solving, rather, I must find the equation of the intersection, right? Then solve x and then go and find the corresponding y value. These are the coordinates of r. After finding the coordinates of r, you go and substitute them in the given equation there, in this equation. Then you will be good to go. I really hope that, guys, the video was very fruitful. Please stay tuned, like, share as much as we can, and don't forget to subscribe.